It's just very like, ah, up here. If that's not the case, then why have that energy around you? You know what I'm saying?
I want you guys to know that every time we hit record, it does a 5-second countdown, and I hear the start to Mario Kart in my head.
Too, and I can feel my thumbs aching because of how hard I would press on the buttons, and it would make no difference.
I literally every time it's like beep, beep, beep.
Confused.
Oh my god, Rainbow Road. We have Birth Story Part 2 locked and loaded, but first I just want to ask the audience. Is everyone in the world drinking an Aperol Spritz this summer?
Oh, did you get that because you went to Europe?
Okay, yes, but listen, Linda. But I just have been really thinking about the Campari Spritz and subliminal messaging and like groupthink and mass hypnosis, and it's really being reinforced.
I think it's real, man.
Okay, but you have Birth Story Part 2. So, yes, everyone, if you haven't listened to last week, I mean, you don't have to, but you should first because it's Part 1 and then Part 2. And also for the YouTube trolls who've been calling me an alcoholic, I am giving them so much fuel for their fire right now. As you were.
Immediately after birth, I think I said like I birthed the placenta. They laid him on my chest right away. This is where it got really blurry for me. So I actually had to ask my husband Kenny all the different things that happened because as soon as they had to take him over to the warmer because he was preemie and his breathing was a little iffy or like a little concerning. She fed me like such a motherly thing to do, like literally just put it in my mouth with her own hands, and it was the cutest thing, and it tasted like absolute heaven. It was eggs with like sausage in there and an English muffin with jelly, and I don't know why, but it was like the most heavenly thing on earth. And she
Your
fed me, and
body
I was
was
like,
probably
yeah,
like, oh
yeah,
my god, we need anything.
anything. Oh my god, I was like, this is the best meal ever. It's just so funny. Kenny was like, that was really not that good, and I thought it tasted like heaven. Put oxygen mask on him and like we're manually giving him oxygen. Did not know
Oh,
that.
like with a bag?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Oh, to like expand his lungs?
Yeah, because
This
they
is
they
so
thought it was
interesting.
maybe not like getting full enough. And
Yeah.
then I didn't know that they stuck a tube down his throat. Like I was like, "Are you do you mean those little like the squeezy things where you're just kind of sucking some stuff up?" And he's like, "No, it was like a tube to try to get stuff out." I was like, "Oh my god."
Because they thought he still had fluid in his lungs.
Uh-huh.
So it was like baby version of suctioning.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm glad I was not kind of aware of this because I would have kind of been freaking out probably. The weird part is I ate it, bitches, so there you go.
I will come after them.
No, I didn't eat it like steak. I had it encapsulated and ate my placenta in pill form, so nothing weird, just capsules of pills. Remember last week I said there's a difference between super uncomfortable pressure and pain when I tore? This was on the pain scale again because it was a sharp, stinging feeling. And I just remember sitting there and starting to pee and banging on the wall, like, oh my God, no one warned me at the stinging feeling of, of this pee hitting this tear. Oh my God. They're like, oh, this is a better room. It has a window. It was smaller and uglier and stupider. It was just hospital rooms are just awful. It's just so stupid. I'm like, you try to upsell this like it was gonna be great. This is worse than the delivery room. Whatever. Anyway.
This is smaller and uglier and stupider.
There was someone in a room coming in and out at least every 30 to 45 minutes. And I kind of knew that was going to happen, but I really didn't know how inconvenient and annoying it would be. Because you were right. There's a nurse practitioner or whatever for me to check my vitals, make sure I'm doing good. There's another one for the baby. And then there's a bunch of other random crap going on. It's like,
It struck me when you said like giving birth and having a baby isn't a problem or an illness, but we treat it the same as all the problems and illnesses. I was like, oh my God, I never thought of that. But even in your first story when you talked about like I wanted to wear my clothes and not my hospital gown, it totally makes sense to me. And I wouldn't even have known that that was a thing that you could tell people.
it's just very like, ah, up here. And if that's not the case, then why have that energy around you? You know what I'm saying? So every 4 to 6 hours, they would come in and prick his little tiny baby feet, and I would watch his little baby heel bleed. and them trying to push it into the tube. Oh my God. And he was crying. It was just so sad. And me and Kenny are looking at each other like, oh my God, this is so traumatic. Like our new precious, pure little peaceful baby is getting pricked I know they have to do it, but it felt so excessive.
I think that it's a big deal that you educated yourself as much as you did ahead of time to have the confidence to go in and tell people no, because the whole like white coat syndrome, where you just like do whatever a professional says in a uniform is really real. And for someone that gets squeamish, like ordering pizza on the phone, I'm really proud of you. And I love that in the moments when it counts, you have no problem like pushing back on authority figures.
Because he's preemie, did you know you have to do a car seat test before we leave? Yeah. Well, first, let me back up. We had not bought a car seat yet.
There's also something about you that I love, that you were so prepared with information.
I know, but so not.
And food at home. There were a lot of things that you were like wildly over prepared. No, over prepared's not right, but like way on top of the ball, like so educated. And then there were other things where I could tell you were kind of overwhelmed with all of the prep. And you were like, I'm going to ignore this until later. But you didn't have later.
So if something's stressing me out, I'll just put it in the back and really won't stress me out, because I'll stress about it when I think about it. But then if I just move it to the back, I'm fine and I don't have to stress about it.
And I don't get why him sitting there for 90 minutes makes a difference. Can't you just set him in there and be like, okay, we've tightened it enough. Here's your baby back. And why can't he be in your room?
Because I was trying to leave at a certain point. I was like, I'm not going to stay another night. I'm over this. I don't want to sleep in this bed anymore. Kenny doesn't want to sleep on this hard-ass stupid couch. So whatever we need to do to get home and be both of us discharged, just get it done. Oh, I see deer out my window. Hello. Okay, no, I'm sorry. Let me go back. There's not pee coming out of your urethra. It's just,
there's not blood coming out of your urethra. You said pee. I knew what you meant, but I wanted to clarify.
Yes, there's pee coming out of the pee hole, but not blood. The blood was coming out from the big hole where your baby just came out of, in the placenta. So much blood. Wow. And blood clots. Ugh. Like, if you have questions, I love talking about this stuff.
I think it's cool that you are willing to embrace what you want, even though you know that's probably not like, it's definitely not what the majority of people are doing. I do think there are circles and things are moving in a different direction. But I think also the takeaway, like you're saying, is to do the education so that you even have a clue of what you want. And then when you know what you want, to advocate for yourself, because no one else is going to.